Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of our webinar that is same at helping small SMEs improve and individual grow in their career path. My name is Kololuwa Shegun Bright. I'm the business support officer for Shokeni Solution, Akure, your best IT company in Akure and Ondo State at large. Now, welcome back to another edition. So, I think last week our topic was a little bit leaning onto the side of the small businesses in Akure. So, today we'll be talking about individuals. Now, our topic for today is a very interesting topic. We'll be talking about five career skills, five tech skills that can improve your career path in 2026. And today, I won't be alone. I will be bringing on a guest that will come to shed more light and also give us some bit of advice on how to go about it. So, let me invite our guest for today. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. It's so good to be here this morning. And then my name is Daniel Ayekogbon, a design expert and a technical manager for Shokeni Solutions. And I'm so excited to be here this morning talking to with you on the show. Thank you.
All right, sir. So today, sir, we'll be talking on a very interesting topic that is five digital skills that can change your career path in 2026. So what are the skills you have for us and what do you have for us in general, sir?
Okay, so talking about career digital skills that can improve your career and then that can change, you know, help you get better and then at the end of the day help you earn more income and then be able to provide solution to the general world at large. I think it's safe to also look at instead of asking the question of what can I learn or what digital skills can I learn to improve myself, to make myself relevant. I mean, it is safe to ask it in such a way that you ask what are the combination of skills that matters, right? When AI gets better than me at execution, it is no longer a thing of the past where we were thinking of what are AI are capable of doing, but right now we can see them in being used. And when I'm talking about AI, I'm not just talking about the AI that most people are conversant with, that is the chatbots and all. I'm just talking about generally the AGI, that is artificial general intelligence, and then when it becomes super intelligence. So rather than just asking what skills can I learn or what how can I do what skills can I digital skills can I learn and then what thing can I do to better improve myself. So it is safe to ask, okay, what skill am I going to learn that is going to be of relevance in 2 to 5 years to come? Because I can tell you for a fact, um, uh, anything that is digital right now can simply be automated, right? And then it is
Yes.
getting smarter and better every time. So it is not just about the digital skills or the tech skills that you want to learn alone, but also the how relevant is going to be, and then how relevant are you yourself are going to be. I can tell you, learn design, learn programming, learn content writing, learn content creation, etc. But the most important is how relevant is going to be for you, how relevant is going to be for the society. So I'm just going to be listing out the things that I believe you can do even while you are trying to learn a digital skill. So the first thing I am going to give, rather than just telling you learn design, learn this, learn that, I'm going to tell you that the first thing you need to know how to do now in this century that we are in, and then where we are heading to, is the first thing is for you to be able to learn how to work with AI, right? So I'm going
Yes.
to just give example tools like the ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. They should become your co-worker rather than when you learn, for example, when you learn how to write content creation. So it is safe for you to also include on how to work with. with the tools that can help those work that are able to stay relevant. Because as a matter of fact, I was talking with a manager of a prestigious company. That should be sometimes last week, and then I were having a conversation about what was going to happen if he has someone who can do a job and then he's paying him 500,000 naira, and then he has a tool that can easily give him the access to what that person can do, and then he can pay for less. So he was saying, aside from the fact that it still needs human touches, everybody would prefer something. Don't let me use the word everybody. Most people would prefer something less, right, and then make
Yes.
them efficient in what can something less and then be more efficient, right? So I would say learn how to work with AI, right? That is artificial intelligence. And then
Yes.
what are the things you need to learn in those areas? We learn how to give proper structured instruction, how to refine output, and how to break problem into steps that AI can handle. Rather, aside from the fact that you are learning design, you are learning programming, so you also need to keep in mind learning how to work with AI. Then the second thing I'm going to mention is, you should pick a tool. Right. You should pick a domain. Sorry, you should pick a domain. For example, if you are a designer or a programmer, you are going to when you don't have a specific domain or specific thing you are trying to solve. Right now, we have AI that are also focusing on specific field, specific aspect of things, but then for example, the example of strong domain that you can consider is in terms of healthcare, finance, education, right, supply chain. So, with the help of you knowing how to use AI and then having a specific domain, you you can work in will give you leverage in the world where AI is becoming more advanced and then taking of being about a lot of things being automated. And then the third thing I would also advise, and then we say it is would be best digital skill to learn in um, in this era that we are, is to learn system and automation thinking, because it is not just about me knowing how to do content creation. How can what I am doing be automated, right? Instead of just designing one post, writing one article, coding one feature, it is better how to learn how to build repeatable system, right? Automate
Yes.
workflow and then be able to scale the output. So being able to, learn a digital skills in line with automation, being able to have this automation thinking mindset would help every individual, those that are just coming into the field and those that are already in the field. And then another thing for us, for anybody listening to me right now, for them to be able to do is to learn how to think, how to learn fast, right? It is not just about learning. Professor Mike, a computer science professor, was saying something in his podcast that I listened to, and he was talking about what would be the fate where everything becomes singularity. That is a situation where we can no longer keep up with whatever it is that we are learning. But before we get to that phase, right, it is better for us to be able to learn for us to learn how to learn fast. That is, you'll be able to know that can sound basic, but it's going to be something that is a survival skill, because tools will keep changing, right? Everything you learn on how to use now, it keep changing. I could remember 2015, where I started learning on how to on graphic design. The tools I learned back then, the how things are meant to work back then has drastically changed to what we have right now. So if we are just focusing on learning digital skills alone and then not knowing on how to learn fast, I think that is not going to be enough in the current era that we are. We need to learn how to learn fast, things that are keeping that are on improvement. So we need to be able to learn tools quickly, testing instead of overthinking, and building small projects instead of watching just tutorials. Then the fifth thing that I'm going to talk about is to build proof and not just knowledge. Right. So right now, with the current situation of things, degrees are drastically losing power. Although it's going to give you the knowledge, but certificates alone will not save anyone. If you have a certification in let's say in graphic design, you enroll for a course and then you were given a certification. That is not going to guarantee someone giving you a job. So what they will literally need is for someone who can prove that they can do A plus B plus C plus D. Right? It's not just about the certification. Certification can help to get into the room and get into the interview, but it's not going to get you a job that you require. So what really matters, what should be most important for every individual to do right now is to have project, case study, and then result, because proof beats theories every time. So those are the five major things I would highlight, rather than just me giving you learn this digital skill, learn this digital skill, learn this digital skill. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So I have some few questions based on what you have said so far, sir.
All
Now
right.
we have been looking at how AI has been taking over, not let me say taking over, improving
Yeah.
workflow in terms of skills recently. Are there some specific skill you feel like very soon AI will take over completely? That you can, okay, maybe if you want to advise someone, you can advise someone, okay, no, don't go into this. In the nearest future, it might not really be visible.
Right. The question you asked me was is a question that was asked that Dr. Miles was asked when he was on that podcast. And the thing there is this: anything digital now can be automated, right? So it
Yes.
is not just about what is the tech skills that or the digital skills that can be in automation in times to come, right? Because virtually AI keeps improving, and then it keeps, we keep having improvement, and then different things. So everything digital can literally be automated, but the time and then to when their relevance is going to lapse, it should be what we should be looking at, rather than me telling you don't learn graphic design because we have generative AI that can do the work of AI. But as a matter of fact, the fact that we have skills that you don't need to waste money to learn, right? But the other thing that we need to also look at or consider is, because I was reading a post by a professor that was talking about the power consumption rate of getting data, and then what AI is generally using. And then in there, I had an experience whereby I paid a subscription for one of the generative AI tool that designers use. And then in the process of I got a token that I can use for my workflow and then be able to generate with. But in the process of trying to refine and then trying to get the accurate result I want, the token was exhausted. So, and if you are looking at that in terms of cost, for the consumers, right? In this our level, the cost is there, the capacity in which AI, the power and all is there. So every skill still matters, but the relevance to when they are not going to matter is what we should be focusing more on, right? If you learn a design today, learn a graphic design skill today, that doesn't mean that tomorrow your job is going to be outdated. Definitely, you still have people to work with, but the relevance is the most important thing. So every skill still matter now. You can literally learn skills, but in line with all those 5 points I've mentioned earlier should be what you should be looking at.
All right, sir. Okay, sir. So, what are the leverages you think can leverage on to make us like stand better in some skills whereby you feel like AI is taking over it? That will make you at least what you are doing unique from it, sir.
So I'm just going to say some few things, and then you know, in the world of where artificial general intelligence is, is getting smarter and then getting more useful, you know better, what you know better than anyone what you like about yourself. Take for example, you know better more than anyone why you like a coffee. AI, the data can be given to AI, and be able to how to make a coffee, how to do this and how to do that. But as an individual, you know the reason to why you are doing that. Right. For example, I can have a model, train a model in such a way that it can be able to get data, get information about a particular topic in a podcast, and then but the reason to why I am doing that, the model might not have an access to that. So everything that still makes us human, right, are what still give us leverage on every roles and everything AI is taking over, until we have super intelligent AI where AI can decide and think for
Hmm. Are you still with us, sir? All right, I think our guest is having a little bit of network issue. Okay, so I think we all have a wonderful session based on what you have been trying to say. And one of the things that, if I get him right, what I was trying to say before the network cut him is that there are a lot of stuff. Okay, I think it's back.
sorry, my network went off.
All right, sir.
So what I was saying is that until we are in the era where AI now takes over completely, where they become super intelligent, in which they don't need you to prompt them. They can create models themselves, create models, feed those models with data and the things that requires for them to be able to work. Until then, so everything that makes us human are still what make us relevant in every skills that we have. We still have some people who will not want AI to still do some financial related tasks for them. We have CEOs like that, that we prefer human touch to still do financial related tasks for them. So everything that makes us human are what will still makes us relevant, and then with every skill that we have to learn and then grow with.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for this session. We really appreciate.
You are welcome. Thank
Say
you.
thank you, sir. And we hope the next time we invite you on stage, sir, you'll be available to come on board with us, sir.
Yes, surely I will be very glad to be here and then discuss about our profession. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, so I hope you have be able to learn one or two from everything our guests have said so far. So the question now is that how are we going to leverage on the new trend, which is artificial intelligence, in our career path? So stay with me tuned to next week again. My name is Kololuwa Shegun Bright, the business support officer for Shokeni Solution, the number one IT company in Akure and Ondo State at large. So see you guys next week, where I'll be bringing on that topic to talk about again. This time it might be about SMEs or individuals. Thank you very much.